Thank you for staying with us. This is the AM News, starting off with the NPP flag-bearer hopeful. Kennedy Ejapon has told party delegates and members he is the only candidate that can return the party to power in 2028 if he is elected as its presidential candidate. Now, speaking after submitting his nomination forms at the party headquarters, the former Asin Central MP said his track record as a successful businessman will guide him to create more jobs for Ghana's unemployed youth. Kennedy has more.
Well, it's been a very busy day at the headquarters of the opposition New Patriotic Party, where not just one, but two flag-bearer hopefuls have filed their nominations. Well, first was the former MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, who filed his nomination, urging delegates to choose him over any other candidate due to his track record as a successful businessman. Well, he pitched the idea to candidates that he's the only one that can help create jobs if he is elected.
Ghanaians are looking for a businessman to create jobs for the youth of this country. Chobol, we are no more going to listen to rhetorics. We want somebody who can create businesses for the youth of this country. I always say that any human being without a job has no life. Do you want life? Do you want life? Then vote for Kennedy Ejapon for life.
Next was the MP for Abetifi, Brian the Champion, who also came in enthusiastically urging supporters to vote for him. Brian urged restraints amongst his supporters not to engage in a smear campaign against any opponent. He said as well that he is the one who is best fit to lead the New Patriotic Party into the next elections in 2028.
To prosperity. The NPP has a job to do in government. I shall win power and continue with that job. I shall focus on jobs, food security, and infrastructure. For security, you know that's my turf. Today, having now submitted my form to run as flag bearer of the NPP, it effectively means that I have submitted my declaration for unity, for a disciplined campaign. Thus, my supporters, north to south, east to west, must shy away from comments and commentary that smears individuals and ultimately affects the fortunes of our party.
Well, the party's National Communications Director, Richard Ahiagba, earlier addressed the press. He raised a number of issues, including allegations that the NDC was training thugs disguised as national security operatives in Akwatia to cause mayhem.
The New Patriotic Party has very reliable information and intelligence that the NDC intends to hide behind the guise of national security to terrorize some residents and voters in Akwatia and during the by-election. It is instructive to note that the police administration has indicated their deployment of 5,000 service men for the Akwatia by-election. Despite the IGP's unequivocal assurance that the Ghana Police Service does not need any military support to maintain law and order, the famous Richard Jakba, my namesake, who has been appointed as the Director of Operation at the National Security, has been seen perambulating the Akwatia constituency with soldiers and reportedly threatening some indigents and residents to leave town before the by-election in their own interest.
Well, the filing of nominations does not end today. Tomorrow on Thursday, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and former Education Minister Dr. Yao Seduchum will be here to file their nominations as well to lead the party into the general elections 2028. from the NPP's national headquarters in Accra. My name is Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Away from that, WaterAid Ghana, in collaboration with the Office of the Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, has convened a national summit on climate change and its impact on water, sanitation and hygiene systems. The summit held in Accra brought together key stakeholders to discuss WASH intervention can be made more resilient in the face of climate threats. My colleague Noela Karen Iyali was there and has now report.
Here at the Urata Hotels in Accra, government officials, industry experts and development partners are meeting under the theme Strengthening Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Resilience in the Face of Climate Change. Now, the summit put together by WaterAid Ghana in collaboration with the Ministry of State for Climate Change and Sustainability is also disseminating information on research work done on how vulnerable communities are coping with climate risk. The Climate Change Risk Vulnerability Assessment conducted across 5 districts in the Upper East region, including Boko, Bongo, Nabdam and Kasana-Nankana, revealed worrying outcomes for communities already grappling with erratic rainfall, water shortages and declining sanitation infrastructure. Program Manager for WASH and Climate at WaterAid Ghana, Engineer Richard Ntibri, highlighted these findings, stressing the urgent need for targeted interventions.
Actually, one, there are key gaps around infrastructure. The infrastructure we have in the areas of study are not resilient enough. When I say they are not resilient enough, they are designed to deliver wash services, but when the impact of climate change hits, they are not able to sustain the service. Okay, so you have a latrine that would not be able to deliver, allow people to use when there's a flooding, because either access to the latrine is compromised, or even the toilet itself is filled with water. You have water systems that in the dry season are not able to deliver water to the people that are using it. So in that case, you have a wash system, but you don't have a climate resilient wash system that will stand the test of time when climate impact strikes. Yeah.
Minister of State for Climate Change and Sustainability, Honorable Isifu Seidu, outlined his ministry's vision for tackling climate change, pledging stronger actions to safeguard water and sanitation systems nationwide.
Building on this foundation, I have set forth a clear vision to establish a climate change and sustainability hub, a center of excellence that coordinates research, policy, innovation, ensuring that knowledge from initiatives like WASH for Climate informs national planning and global advocacy. To institutionalize climate change and sustainability units across ministries, departments, agencies, metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. These units will mainstream climate action into every sector of our economy. What we are doing currently in our ministry is to make sure that we are able to cross the dots from all the ministries, because climate change affects almost all ministries that we have in Ghana, the 22 ministries and beyond.
He also called for a united front amongst African leaders in pushing for debt relief mechanisms, which he believes are crucial for funding climate action on the continent.
We all know that these effects that we are grappling with is not the cause of we in the developing countries. It is a function of somebody in far away somewhere in the globe attempting to develop their nations. And we in vulnerable countries, we in West Africa, are now grappling with the consequences of somebody developing his country somewhere. So why do we go into capital market, into bond markets to raise money to be able to build community resilience? Somebody must be responsible for that. So I want to use this opportunity to champion that we need to have one common voice as Africans. We need to have a voice that will speak to the initiative of developing climate debt forgiving mechanism that will help developing countries that are worse hit because somebody has developed his country. It is important for us to begin to speak this language and work towards it and fight for it. It is part of climate justice.
Stakeholders here agree that the fight against climate change cannot be won without resilient water, sanitation, best hygiene practices and systems. From the Wash for Change Summit here in Accra, I'm Nuwela Kariniali, and this is Joy News.
Well, the Ministry of Education has set September 17 for the release of school placements for candidates of the 2025 Basic Education Certificate Examination. Now, the announcement was made at a press conference following the release of this year's BECE results. Maxwell Akloboto was there and has filed this report.
Following the release of the 2025 Basic Education Certificate Examination results, the Ministry of Education says it has commenced processing the data in order to release the school placement for the candidates. Speaking at a press conference, the Director General of GES, Professor Ernest Davis, gave a 3-week ultimatum to release the school placement. He also announced September 17th as the official date for publishing the school placements.
We have begun processing the data. Placement will be matched against vacancies in the second cycle institutions. And this process is expected to take not more than 3 weeks. We hope by 3 weeks we should be ready. From 1st to 8th September, as I indicated earlier, we'll open the system for review by candidates to review their entries, to confirm their choices, their agenda, and so on and so forth. On 9th September, we'll release explainer videos for checking placement. By 17th September, official publication of placement result will be available online.
He further says call centers will be set up after the release in order to help candidates who might have some challenges with their school placements.
By 18th September, that is a day after the release of the placement, call centers and district resolution centers will be set up for candidates to seek redress for issues that might be associated with their placement. 1 month later, that is between 18th to 20th October, the first year student will report to school.
The ministry says it is ready for the placement process and assures candidates and their parents to remain calm as they await their school placements. Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Akloboto.
In other stories, human trafficking continues to cast a dark shadow over Ghana, with children among the most vulnerable, exploited in fission, domestic work and street hawking. These victims are trapped in a cycle of abuse as authorities and partners like the International Justice Mission ramp up efforts to protect them and bring traffickers to justice. Andase has more in the following report.
Human trafficking in Ghana remains a serious concern, with the country serving as a source, transit and destination point for both internal and cross-border trafficking. Children are particularly vulnerable, often exploited in sectors such as fishing, domestic work, agriculture and street hawking. Speaking at the National Justice Conference, the Ghana Police Service has issued a call to action, urging every individual to commit to protecting victims and fighting human trafficking without fear or favor.
A call to action for the future. The threats against the vulnerable remain rare. Human trafficking, abuse, exploitation, and corruption. Let us recommit ourselves today to serve with integrity, to protect without fear or favor, and to be relentless in defending the dignity of every person, because justice is not a privilege, it is the right of all.
A representative from the Department of Social Welfare, speaking on behalf of the ministry and in partnership with the International Justice Mission, also highlighted several challenges that hinders effort and undermine the fight against human trafficking.
As a department, some MMDAs in the country continues to face the problem of irregular migration and transnational trafficking, which involve trafficking children from neighboring countries to Ghana to engage in begging for arms on the street. And when girls are also coerced into prostitution to pay exorbitant fees for transportation and lodging. Again, weak cross-border collaboration in administrative procedure also continues to pose a big challenge when trafficked children need to be repatriated to their various countries and ensure proper reunification with their families. This is also a big challenge, and this required coordinated efforts among neighboring countries, which mostly is lacking.
The IJM, in collaboration with the government institutions in Ghana, aims to expand its operation across the country to reach more regions and work towards the complete eradication of human trafficking, according to IJM Country Director, Ms. Anita Budu. This would enable all partners to be equipped with the appropriate resources for their work.
We want to expand our operations into other regions in Ghana to be able to provide the support that we've provided in particular regions, particularly Volta, OT, Central, Eastern to date. We want to expand that support to our government partners across wider regions in Ghana to be able to enable our government partners to be well equipped to deal with situations of trafficking in the agricultural sector. And we want to get to a point where our government partners are working more and more independently in this space.
Tackling human trafficking in Ghana requires collaboration, vigilance, and the right resources. Through initiative led by the Ghana Police Service, IJM, and other partners, there's renewed hope that victims will be protected and trafficking networks dismantled across the country. And that's his report read.
January and August this year, Dunkwao, Onofe, the capital of the Upper Daintra East Municipality, has recorded 22 tragic drowning deaths in abandoned mining pits. The alarming toll has prompted the Central Regional Land Reclamation Committee to roll out an urgent reclamation exercise to prevent further loss of lives. During the exercise, Central Regional NADMO Director Emmanuel Mensah Dawood described the situation as a growing menace, noting that the number of abandoned pits in the region or the region's mining areas continues to rise. He called on stakeholders and local authorities to act decisively to safeguard lives and protect property in the affected communities. Abigail Aisel Nkrumah reports.
The Central Regional NADMO is intensifying its mission to protect lives and property. The management is currently on a land reclamation exercise in the Upper Daintra East Municipality. The Regional NADMO Director, Emmanuel Mensah Dawood, shared that land reclamation became necessary due to the high number of abandoned pits in mining areas, revealing that the municipality's capital, Dunkwao alone, recorded 22 cases of drowning between January and August, among other challenges.
Land reclamation has become necessary because Central Regional leadership have realized that the issue of abandoned pits in mining areas after their mining activities are completed, is on the ascendancy, and it is creating serious menace in our mining communities by way of protecting lives and properties. So far as protecting lives and properties are concerned, here in the Upper Daintra East Municipality alone, from January to August 2025, we have recorded 22 cases of drowning from abandoned pits. Not only the drowning issues, we are talking about serious environmental degradation. We are talking about health and disease epidemics. These abandoned pits providing breeding grounds for serious viruses and other harmful disease-causing pathogens.
The NADMO director also urged stakeholders and authorities in the region to be proactive to prevent potential disasters, especially with the region's 10 mining districts.
Regional Minister Honorable Kochipin Edriamwa has provided necessary logistical and transportational support to complement the effort of the Upper Dentra East MCE. And we are here in Dunkofin. In Central Region, we have 10 mining districts or constituencies for that matter. We need to be proactive to forestall avoidable disasters, and that is why this reclamation exercise is important. And we call on all our stakeholders, including the miners themselves, NANANO and all, to come on board to help us to achieve our set objectives.
George Anani Coleman, the MC of Upper Dentra East Municipality, issued a warning to miners.
We are going to, send message out to all miners, both legal and illegal, whoever has dug a pit outside. We are giving them amnesty to willingly come out to, make use of the support we are going to give them. We have already, the regional minister has given us the drip machines, the bulldozers and other machines that can help in the, reclamation exercise. From
Dunkornofin, Abigail Lisal and Koma reports for Joy News.
You're watching the AM News, and time now to bring you business update. Aliyah Hunter Pele is on standby.
All right, thank you very much, MFI. You are the ever messier. All right, now senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, has asked the Bank of Ghana to act swiftly to end the practice of businesses quoting prices in dollars. Even though he admits enforcing the Bank of Ghana directives on quoting in dollars will require a lot of work, Dr. Amoah said the central bank must be seen to be acting by setting examples. He made the statement after the Bank of Ghana warned the public against, unauthorized forex transactions.
It will be difficult. It will be difficult because until the central bank gets the hint of it, he will not know, right? He will not know. So it becomes a bit difficult because, again, what happens between the banks and the forex bureau is such a deep valley that so many things can happen from the banks through to the forex bureau. Not deliberate, but then there may be some loopholes that can be exploited. Now, if I am buying or I'm selling in dollars, and you don't get a hint of it at central bank, how will you change? How will you follow me? How will you deal with that particular act? So the central bank is coming out, which is good, but then they will have to look at it and then make sure that the system that they put in place can pick on the needed, flashpoint and to deal with the issue. What I was expecting that if the policy starts from 1st of September, we just have about 4 days to go. Look, this guideline that is out, how many individuals can have access to? I was expecting that the central bank through the commercial banks will force the commercial banks to send minimum text messages to their customers that this and this and this will be happening from so and so time. So we should be aware. How many of us will be aware if we don't have access? So the central bank will also have to look at how some of these information can trickle down to the very details of individuals that we have in the society. If not, the banks will just place this in their branches.
All right.
And how many customers will go to the branches and read some of these policies?
Well, the Consumer Protection Agency has called on DSTV and GoTV subscribers to switch off their subscriptions in protest of the exorbitant prices being charged by MultiChoice. According to CPA, managers of the firm are shortchanging subscribers with their outrageous prices, which are not giving value for money. Speaking at a news conference in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, called on subscribers to take the bold step in putting off their subscriptions. Sorry, we couldn't bring you that particular sound, but that's how we wrap up business update for today, and that's how we conclude the AM News. Up next is AM Sports.